Jorge Bonifacio went down with a suspension. Salvador Perez injured his knee, so the Royals began the season without their number 4 and number 5 hitters, and now here we are, game number 81, and the Royals have Perez and Bonifacio in the same lineup. Alex Gordon will get the night off with the lefty on the mound. Marco Gonzalez, he has made 16 starts. His ERA is 4.04, but over his last 2 starts, his ERA is over 8.
Hey, look, he's not overpowering, but go ahead and get him. But you got to think the other way. He's induced 13 ground ball double plays this season. That's second most he's tied for in the American League. And if you try to pull him, fits right into his trap. Defensively, the Mariners, they're good this year. When you have a good record, you're 20 over 500, you catch the ball. Mitch Haniger, the right fielder, leads all right fielders with 10 defensive runs saved. D. Gordon, second baseman, he's won a Gold Glove in that position in 2015. He wasn't alive then. He's a solid player. He was their starting center fielder at the beginning of the year.
Fastball is outside. Ball 1 on Whit Merrifield. Whit had 4 hits and an RBI in the Royals-Brewers series. He leads the Royals with 24 multi-hit games, and he lines one into center. 1 hop to Heredia, and a good start for Whit in this series.
Goes right along with it. He could have pulled it. He stayed inside of that baseball and went with it nicely. Get him on, get him over, get him in, get Kennedy some run support.
Rosel Herrera also had 4 hits in the 2-game series in Milwaukee. And he lays down a bunt, bunting for a base hit. The play is to first. And Gonzalez gets Herrera. So even though he was bunting for a hit, he'll get a sacrifice. And Merrifield goes to second base.
Okay, nicely done. Just, you know, play it simple. Talked about it. Get him on, get him over. Rosie can do a lot of things. And he elected to just drop the bunt.
Mike Moustakas homered to tie the game on Wednesday at 1, and the Royals went on to score 5 runs in that 7th inning. Close at second base, and second base umpire Mike DeMiro says Whit Merrifield is out, and now Whit is looking at his right hand.
How about that time play? They know Whitley likes to steal. Ooh, they got him. You know, he likes to steal third base. That obviously was talked about in their pregame meeting. Hopefully his finger's all right.
So he has that pad on his hand, which you're normally using to reach back into the bag, and he went in with the other hand.
Definitely the element of surprise worked there.
So nobody on, 2 out, and inside to Mike Moustakas.
That's a big play for the Mariners.
Last year in July, the Royals were here at Safeco Field, and they swept a 3-game series. Mike Moustakas homered in each of those 3 games. So leadoff single, a sac bunt, a pickoff, and after a flyout, the Royals send just 3 to the plate. It'll be Ian Kennedy making his 17th start of the year when we come back. Mariners line up to face Ian Kennedy, and when the Royals faced the Mariners back in April, they were dealing with some injuries. Robinson Cano has been suspended, but the Mariners had several starters out of the lineup. Nelson Cruz, Ben Gamel, Ryan Healy, Mike Zunino were all out, and now they are healthy for Seattle, and they have the 4th best record in the major leagues. And Ian Kennedy, who has pitched well over his last 4 starts, hasn't gotten a win over that stretch. In fact, he's winless in his last 14 starts. Fastball is a little bit high to D. Gordon.
Okay, use that fastball to set up the changeup. The changeup, opponents aren't doing much on it. 127 average. Fastball's been getting hit a little bit. 11 homers he's given up with that pitch, but he's still got to use it effectively, command it. It makes the changeup look even better. And he needs some run support. Needs some help.
Grounded sharply to Duda. 2 pitches and 1 out for Kennedy.
Our forward around the horn Royals defense has started this 3-game series. Jorge Bonifacio, he played 92 games in right field last year, only 9 in left. So it'll be interesting. You just got to get used to the other spin. Salvador Perez, heck, he's throwing out 48% of would-be base stealers. The M's have the 4th most steals in the American League, so they'll need that arm in this series. So Bonifacio in left field. The ball will be breaking towards that left field line. A little bit different than the right field, but he's a good enough athlete. Shouldn't have any trouble.
1 strike on Gene Segura, who's having another good year, hitting at .335. He has the 2nd most hits in the American League, 3rd best batting average, and he and others have really picked it up when Robinson Cano was suspended. That's a big blow. That's their best player. It's their highest profile player. It's their most decorated player. But the Mariners are 15 games above 500 since Cano was suspended.
Yep. You know, they're pulling together. Scott Sharp, their manager, he deserves a lot of credit. Or excuse me, Scott Service. I see Sharpie out of the corner of my eyes sitting down there tonight in a suite.
Still 2-2 on Segura. Mentioned Kennedy has been very good over his last 4 and was strong in his last start against Houston in Houston. He's got a couple of ground ball outs to begin the night. Inside Minute Maid Park on Saturday, Kennedy went 7 good innings, gave up just a couple of runs. The Astros did not have one at bat with a runner in scoring position. Technically, they did get a sacrifice fly, which is not an official at bat, and a solo home run, but that's it. And that was the game that Houston ended up winning in extra innings. So he has that to build from as he takes on the Mariners. And now Mitch Haniger with 2 down. And that's a well located fastball. 0-1.
Tell you what, Ned Yost be thrilled if he can repeat that performance against the Astros here tonight.
59 RBIs for Haniger. That's the 2nd most in the league. He is having his big league breakout season, to say the least. 1 ball and 1 strike. Another one of those guys we were just talking about that has had to step up with the absence of Robinson Cano. Two and 1.
You know, hitting in the middle like that, batting third, that's a prominent spot. He's got the confidence, no doubt, and he's got the numbers. You ride that wave all the way. And for Seattle, it's been a long time since they've been to postseason. Still awfully early to talk about that, but that's what their fans are hoping.
That'll be out of play. Well, specifically, it's been 17 years, which is stunning because this was still a new ballpark. Back in 2001, it was the third year here, and the Mariners on the far right there won 116 games. And they didn't even make it to the World Series.
Yep.
Then they won 93 the year after that. That wasn't enough for the playoffs. 93 the year after that, and that wasn't good enough. And they have not been to the playoffs since 2001. That's the longest drought in the major leagues.
Ouch.
Haniger was not ready for a fastball, so a good start for Kennedy. 3 up, 3 down with 2 ground ball outs and his first strikeout. Jorge Bonifacio is coming up with his first major league at bat of 2018. Catcher in his third year as the Mariners manager and having a heck of a year. Our Toyota League leaders. Seattle has the 4th best winning percentage in the major leagues, and the top 4 are from the American League. And the Royals are in a stretch of games right now where they're going to play 3 of those 5 teams. Last weekend the Royals were in Houston and then had that one game at home against the Angels. We just finished playing the Brewers, and now 3-game series with Seattle. 0-2 on Salvador Perez. Salvi was 1 for 12 in the Angels and Brewers series, and that's a bat the Royals really need right now. Salvador Perez. And Gonzalez gets him on 3 straight pitches. That is his first strikeout. And now Jorge Bonifacio, 17 home runs last year, becoming just the 7th Royals rookie all time to have 17 or more home runs.
Looks like he's in good shape.
What was unique about Bonifacio's 17 home runs in our Kubota Power Stats, he did that in fewer than 400 at-bats. So now the list is whittled down to 3 Royals rookies with 15 or more home runs and fewer than 400 at-bats. So that's not a very experienced bat, but an important bat in the Royals lineup.
Well, it tells me he's got a pretty good idea about hitting. He's a big league player. There's no question about it. He just has to put in some time, and he's got the second half of the season to show the Royals that he's the guy. Selective. I remember he was one of the best breaking ball hitters last year for power. He wouldn't miss a hanging curveball. He's really good at those mistake breaking pitches.
Chopped out to third. Seager backs up to get a big hop and slings it over to first in time. So 2 down, and now Lucas Duda. Talking about the Royals getting bats back into the lineup. He returned within the last week after missing 35 games with a foot injury, and has driven in a run in 3 of his last 4 games. Slider from Gonzalez is in for a strike. Lucas came on and got a sacrifice fly in that 5-run 7th inning on Wednesday, coming on as a pinch hitter against Josh Hader, tough Milwaukee lefty. 0-2. It's a nice confidence boost to, first of all, score that many runs in any inning. And Josh Hader was on the mound for the Brewers.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about that today, talking about facing left-handers. And when he brought up Hader, he said he was looking for the fastball because that's the pitch they like to start you out with. And then for Gonzalez, he said he's going to try to finish me with breaking pitches. So early count fastballs, going away with the soft stuff.
Cracked his bat.
Sinker, four-seamer, change, curve, cutter. He's got a whole mix of them. He's going to average around 90, 91 miles an hour with his fastball. Not overpowering, but puts it well. He's a good pitcher. Been consistent most of the year.
Two and two. This is the second time the Royals have seen Marco Gonzalez this year. First time was back on April the 9th on a cold night at Kauffman Stadium. Fastball's in for a strike. So Gonzalez has a 1-2-3 second with a couple of strikeouts, no score. Refreshing saves from Price Chopper and Aquafina. Sign up at mypricechopper.com/saves to save on Aquafina when the Royals get a save. Nelson Cruz swings and ropes it to left field. Bonifacio gets a good first step and comes up and makes the play. So that's his first put out of 2018. And Kennedy has set down the first 4. Let's go down to the field, and here's Joel Goldberg.
Well, good timing on that for Jorge Bonifacio, and had the chance to talk to him today, guys, and he said that he was so excited to be back. He said it is not going to happen again, the mistake that he made, and he wanted to say that he was sorry to his teammates and to the front office. And then it was interesting. He said he was down, and he said that it was Salvador Perez on a very regular, almost everyday basis, talking to him, texting him, keeping him upbeat. And, I talked to Salvi about that too, guys, and Salvi said, I told him all that from the get-go, and then when I hurt my knee, which, Ryan, you talked about before, Salvi said, I was in tears that I was not going to be able to be on the opening day roster, down in the dumps, and I learned from that, and then I was able to share that with Bonifacio just to tell him, hey, keep your head up, keep working hard, take advantage of that time away, enjoy your family, and then come back stronger than ever. And he said, look at him. He looks like he is in great shape. So big learning experience for Jorge, and now he's got to take advantage of that time.
Nothing better than getting love from your teammates. Teammates are as important as family, and they basically go hand in hand. Got to have them. Got to pick each other up.
1-1 on Kyle Seager. He had a big series when Seattle took 2 out of 3 at Kauffman Stadium back in April, with a home run and 5 driven in. His batting average is down, but he is on pace for his 7th consecutive season with at least 20 home runs. Two and two. Well, this kind of goes against the thinking when you're facing a guy who hits for power. You want to keep the ball down on him, but he's had a big struggle with fastballs up. That's out over the plate, and it's hit out to Bonifacio again. 2 down. Kennedy, like everybody else, is getting a little extra rest because of the off day, and it's a grinding stretch that the Royals are in right now. It is a 4-city 9-game stretch, but Ian, like a lot of pitchers, this is more common than you would think. When you talk about a little extra rest, that is welcomed by just about everybody except for starting pitchers. Giving starters an extra day, an extra 2 days of rest isn't always a good thing, but so far so good for Ian. He has set down the first 6 Mariners.
It looks good.
with hashtag Hats Off for Heroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Good start for Ian Kennedy and Marco Gonzalez. Both have faced only 6 in their first 2 innings. And now Gonzalez is back to work against Hunter Dozier, Alcides Escobar, and Adalberto Mondesi. Fastball for a strike to Hunter Dozier. He had just 1 hit this past week, but he's also walked 3 times. He is in there as the designated hitter for just the 2nd time this year at the big league level. Out to Seager, and the ball took a strange hop, and now Healy with a great stretch, and that gets Dozier.
Okay, he's going to come in and sinker down, curveballs down. He's going to get a lot of guys to roll over. That was our key of the game. Good play there by Seager. Healy stayed on the bag nicely. That's one of the things that he uses is ground ball outs to the left side. A lot of soft tossing lefties. That's what their idea is. Trust the defense on the left-hand side, because you're facing mainly all righties.
Strike on Alcides Escobar. And if you're a soft tossing lefty, it always seems like one of their key pitches is a cut fastball in on a right-hand batter.
That's right. Down in that soft change up away, get you out front. Can't keep your hands back. You're going to pull it.
Out in front of a change. 0-2 on Escobar.
So key. Speaking of, I just said Key. I thought about Jimmy Key, another left-hander like him. Similar.
A long career pitching like that.
He did.
The most recent soft tossing lefty who really made a name for himself, pitched for a long time here in Seattle, Jamie Moyer, who was hardly throwing 80 miles an hour at the very end.
Yeah, but you know what though? We had him up here in our booth too, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah. Nah, good guy. Teammate of mine with the Cardinals for a little bit of time earlier in his career, but he pitched till what, he was 45 years old, and he pitched well into his 40s.
There's that cutting fastball. And that's 3 strikeouts for Gonzalez, 2 down in the 3rd inning. So Bonifacio is back here. Chesler Cuthbert is back on the field. Our University of Kansas Health System injury report update. Chesler's been out for a long time with a lower back strain, and he was on the field with AAA Omaha and was 0 for 2 with a walk in 3 plate appearances and came around to score a run. Fouled away by Mondesi. Nicky Lopez was 3 for 4 in that same game. Mondesi, he had the big hit for the Royals on Wednesday, driving in a couple with that double against Josh Hader off the left field wall. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mondesi also homered in that Milwaukee series, so he drove in 3 in the brief 2-game set. But I talked to Mondesi before the game and I said, okay, look, Adalberto is not easy to say, so help me out here, because Salvador became Sal and Salvi. I said, can I call you Berto? Give me a nickname. And he says Ada. That's what his friends and family call him, Ada.
Okay.
So we have permission to call him Ada Mondesi or Mondi. He said, well, just call me Mondi. I said, well, but I can't call you Mondi Mondesi. I mean, I guess I could. So Ada.
Ada boy. Way to go, Ronald. Good question.
Shallow left field. Segura is out and called off by Denard Span. That was a little Elvis Andrus, Adrian Beltre routine. No score to the bottom of the third. Every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools. So play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. And by Chevrolet, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. Find yours at your Kansas City area Chevy dealers. Denard Span. Then Mike Zunino and Guillermo Heredia are coming up against Ian Kennedy. And we've seen Denard Span already. He started the year with Tampa Bay. He is from Tampa, so he got a chance to play at home. And then he and Alex Colomé, the Rays closer, were traded to Seattle. One ball, one strike.
He's a great ad for their team. He's a leader. Playing some great baseball. He was doing a good job for the Rays as well. Good to have a 10-year veteran to add to your team that's productive.
Got the call. A high curveball, 1-2 on Denard Span. He made his big league debut against the Royals with Minnesota. Now in a flash, he's a veteran with gray whiskers in his beard.
Amazing how fast it goes. Man. He's one of the ones that have worked hard and developed a niche. Has been productive for a lot of teams and has worked hard. Nothing replaces that.
Gosh, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
How was that 10 years ago?
Yeah. You just don't flip a switch. These guys, they work at it all the time, and they have learned how to handle failure.
Kennedy strikes him out with a curve, and that's Ian's second strikeout tonight.
Boy, that was a beauty. Kennedy really had him off balance. A couple of backdoor breakers. Watch this one. This is a perfect spot.
So Ian has knocked down the first 7 Mariners, and now he gets their catcher Mike Zunino. Ball one on Zunino, who is hitting .191 with 11 home runs, and that is one season after his big league breakout season. Kind of felt like he had finally arrived after struggling his first several years. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, the power's there, that's for sure. He's one of those injured players, but last year, man, that's nice. Get a power hitting catcher like that, sure does help your lineup.
And now his batting average is 60 points lower. 2-1. Salvador Perez is keeping an eye on Zunino. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I brought that up the other night. Remember Manny Pena, when he was catching for the Brewers, he was keeping a close eye on Salvador Perez as he was putting down the sign and setting up inside or outside, and now Salvi's doing the same thing to Zunino. I guess it's a catcher thing. Another strikeout for Kennedy as he gets Zunino looking at a fastball. I guess they just assume catchers know all the tricks. You got to pay a little closer attention when a fellow catcher is at the plate.
Yeah, it's a mind game. There's no doubt about it.
You ever peek?
Never peeked, but I tried to give signs from second base one time, and I thought I did a pretty good job, but obviously I didn't. And so when I went up, the next time I went up there, I got a rib ball. And then the next time I got up there, they came inside on me again. I'm looking at the catcher, and he goes, "Look, don't be giving signs. You know, don't be trying to steal our signs. We don't appreciate that." And you know, the game has changed. Obviously, I still think there probably could be some of that, but it's definitely not as much as it used to be. But you know, a couple times, you know, you'd look back by accident, and the catcher would be looking at you, and so you were busted. I remember Gary Carter. I looked back and I saw Carter's eyes were big as saucers, and he looked at me and he went, "Oh, okay, you're looking for one." Right during
makes the play in
right during the at bat, yeah.
By the way, rib ball is not barbecue.
It sure does hurt.
Kennedy's thrown 3 perfect innings with 3 strikeouts.
Greatest players will be in St. Louis for the 100th PGA Championship. Tickets for Monday's opening day through Thursday's opening round are still available, but going fast. Visit PGAchampionship.com for tickets.
Nine up and 9 down for the Mariners against Ian Kennedy so far. On the other side, Marco Gonzalez has faced the minimum, but he gave up a game-opening single to Whit Merrifield. Whit went to second on a bunt and then was picked off at second base, so Gonzalez only ended up facing 3 in the first, and now he has set down the last 8. Changeup. Gonzalez in the early innings appears to have a good feel for that pitch. He's gotten a lot of swings and misses on that change.
He's mixing them up. They knew that.
Still 0-2. And he's going to have to do something different tonight, because back on April 9th, Gonzalez only went 2 1/3 innings, and the Royals scored 4 runs on 8 hits. Royals ended up winning that game 10-0. That was the first game of the series, and then Seattle took the next 2.
They jumped all over him. He's gotten into a groove now. He's got some confidence behind him. Good off-speed pitch there.
He has struck out 4.
Fans, show off your patriotic side with the next T-Shirt Tuesday presented by Mini Mart this Tuesday. Be one of the first 10,000 fans of the K to receive a patriotic-themed Raised Royal shirt when the Royals take on the Indians. Visit Royals.com/T-Shirt Tuesday to see all of this year's designs. It's a cool shirt. I'd like to have one myself.
Cut on and missed by Herrera. And as soon as the Royals start looking for that changeup, 91 miles an hour is going to feel like 101 miles an hour. Herrera was a little late on that fastball.
It's sneaky. It sneaks up on you.
1 ball and 1 strike. Herrera was credited with a sacrifice bunt in the first inning, but he was bunting for a base hit. Tried to push a bunt to the right side, but Gonzalez, the pitcher, cut it off. And now he hits a hooking line drive into left field, and it's off of Denard Span's glove. And Herrera is at second base with 1 out.
Nicely done. 3rd double on the year. He hooked it. Span will tell you, I had a good track on that. I had a good beat on it, and I just missed it. You can see him. Sometimes you see that hit up in the heel of his glove. He was definitely there, but you know, your eyes are bouncing because your head's bouncing when you're running full speed like that, and it can distort the catch. That's exactly what happened.
So a break and a runner in scoring position for Mike Moustakas, who is really on a roll against the Mariners. In his first at-bat tonight, Gonzalez got him on a fly ball to left field. But I would imagine in the pregame meetings tonight, the Mariners decided we are not, with the game on the line, going to let Mike Moustakas beat us. Arcia drive to success. Moustakas has a 10-game hitting streak against Seattle, which includes 6 home runs and 14 driven in. Down and away, 2 balls and no strikes.
Gonzalez, he's being real careful with him. Cutters, breaking balls, away. This is a launching pad here. 326 down the right field line. Fly balls carry.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Cutter up.
Off of Seager. That was a shot. And Seager might be hurt. I mean, did not pursue that line drive after it went behind him at 100%. That stung him, and the Royals have runners at first and third with one out.
I guarantee you, you're at that hot corner and a ball's hit at you over 100 miles an hour. It doesn't give you long, and that's what we would call he undressed him with a shot.
That's the second time that the Royals have gotten a base hit because the glove was in the right spot, but the ball did not go into the glove, or at least a ball that was hit that was close to the glove but not in the glove.
Hey, so what do? You take advantage of it. You get on the board for Kennedy.
Change up, swung on and missed, and that pitch struck out Salvador Perez in the second inning.
Okay, now this is an important at bat for the Royals and Salvi. Talked about the scouting report. You can't pull him. That was a pull swing, and if you do, you're going to hit into a ground ball double play. Enough of those. Think opposite field, keeps you away from the double play, and you score a run.
Out to short. And a double play. Salvi's hit into a lot of double plays. Gonzalez lives by getting double plays, and he gets one to get out of the fourth. Good start on the mound and a good park to pitch in with the wind blowing in tonight. Ian Kennedy has 3 perfect innings, and Marco Gonzalez has only faced 1 over the minimum in his 4 innings. Chatting with his pitching coach, Mel Stottlemyre Jr. Gonzalez got another ground ball double play to get out of the top of the 4th inning, and that's one of his specialties. That was the 14th that he has received so far this year. So top of the order, second time through for the Mariners. D. Gordon grounded out to Lucas Duda at first base in the 1st inning. And now he lifts it into that wind in left center field, and Whit Merrifield is over from center, and now Kennedy is set down the first 10. And now Mariners shortstop Gene Segura. So that takes us to our sprint trivia question. Name the 5 shortstops since 2000 to hit 300 or better in 3 consecutive seasons. So Segura is not on that list, but if he hits 300 this year, he will join the list, having hit 300 over the previous 2 seasons. 5 shortstops since 2000. Mondesi, that's all he can do with Segura's speed. So he gets an infield single and becomes the Mariners' first base runner.
Our Mo Lottery replay shows he topped it. It was a breaking ball. It was up 88, topped it right over Kennedy's head. Kennedy couldn't quite reach it. He thought maybe the defense was there, but Mondesi did all he could.
Here's Mitch Haniger with a runner at first and 1 out. Got the call down and away. Haniger took a called third strike on a fastball in the first inning. One ball, one strike. I've got 5 names to start with.
Okay.
2-1. Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Derek Jeter.
Okay, I had Jeter.
Troy Tulowitzki.
Tulo in his Rockies days.
Elvis Andrews.
Possibly.
Jimmy
Got
Rollins.
10 years. Hey, stay on it. Like our track tonight.
Changeup. 3-1 on Haniger. We were talking about how he has stepped up with Cano suspended. And for him, it's not just taking his game to another level, it is taking his game to new heights. He already has a career high in RBIs, and we're at the midway point of the season, and he has tied his career high for home runs already. That's hit well to center field. Witt is at the wall, and that's a 2-run home run. So it's a new career high with 17 home runs for Haniger, and Seattle takes a 2-0 lead.
Wow. That's going to be our Jeep drive of the game. Staying inside of the ball, not trying to pull it. That's the key. Look at the leg lift. He has a little leg lift to load up the hips, and then he's able to just barrel it. Put the meat of the bat on it. Whitley ran out of room. Gonzalez got him a 2-run lead. Had a chance to talk to Edgar Martinez today in their clubhouse after exchanging pleasantries. I asked him about Haniger. I said, man, this guy, he's turned into a player, and he says he stays inside of the ball very well. He doesn't try to pull, and that's the way Edgar was. Edgar was a guy who could stay inside the ball, hit it wherever he wanted to.
Maybe the best of his era at doing that.
Sure was hard to defend, but this young man, he's getting it. And a lot of right-handed guys with a little pop, they get pull happy. And when you start believing that you can hit homers to opposite field and center field, that makes you see the ball longer. Gives you no jumping. You're not jumping out there trying to pull it.
Nelson Cruz lined out to Bonifacio in left field his first time up. Kennedy throws a fastball right by him. .21 home runs, his 4th most in the American League. Three balls and 2 strikes. trailing only J.D. Martinez, Jose Ramirez, and Mike Trout. And I mentioned he's on a binge since May 24th. 32 games for the Mariners. He's hit 14 home runs, so he's almost hitting a home run every other day, and that's the most in the major leagues over that span. So handle with care.
Oh, no question about it.
Popped up.
Maybe that'll stay in.
That is out number 2.
Take that easy out.
And now Kennedy will get Kyle Seager, who at the moment has a sore left hand after Mike Moustakas lined one off of his hand last half inning. He's also playing with a fractured left big toe, and he's going to try and play with that broken toe to finish out the regular season.
You know, it won't be easy, but these guys, even at this point in the year, they're banged up somewhere. But Soler, you know, he had a similar injury, didn't he? I mean, you know, that's hard to do.
Different spot.
Yeah.
And obviously Seegers is in an area where he can.
It's more tolerable.
Yeah, he can be standing on his feet and running.
Yep, and being able to move.
1-1.
Let's check him out earlier. Moose is going that way. There it was, 103. That was a shot. Okay, it was a short hopper, and he got his feet twisted up in his defense. He kind of slipped a little bit, got him off balance there, maybe in between, but it definitely bit him. You don't have long to get your feet right on a shot like that right at you.
And I would bet, you played some third base. I would bet if you polled 100 third basemen and you said, what is the hardest play? 90 to 95 of them would say a line drive, a low line drive off the bat of a left-hand hitter.
About 4 feet in front of you.
Yeah, so not right at you and not 20 feet in front of you, but.
Yeah, the little the one that gets on you in a heartbeat, you're not sure what to do.
Seager thought that pitch was down and away, and now with 2 strikes, Mike Moustakas can take himself out of that danger zone and back up deep at third. Yeah, I should point out too, third baseman playing in and a line drive off a left-hand batter.
And believe me, you think about that too when you got a power hitter up, especially, you know, a right-handed hitter. I remember getting a few starts against Jack Clark and the teams he played on, the Padres, and I was playing third base scared to death. I mean, I'd back up at the very back of the grass in left field and still was nervous, especially when a Ricky Horton or a soft toss and lefty was throwing. Oh man, you thought about it, no question.
Seager is on with 2 outs. That's Kennedy's first walk. Ian got the first 10 batters, 10 up, 10 down, and Segura had an infield single. Haniger hit a 2-run home run and now a 2-out walk. So it's pretty easy for him in the first 3 innings, and now he's thrown 21 pitches in the 4th. And here's Ryan Healy. Healy had injured his ankle prior to the Mariners arriving in Kansas City back in April, so he missed that series. And he hasn't been in the big leagues for very long, but he always seems to swing the bat well against the Royals.
I remember with Oakland last year. But that was, you know, it was a good break for the Royals to miss this young man and Cruz.
And there are the numbers to prove it. He is 0 for 1 tonight, but that was a line out to Mondesi at second base.
I remember last year he had a little case of the hotheads. Remember? Got into it at first base with Haas.
Jason Vargas pitched him inside, and
yeah,
Healy was staring him down. And,
yeah, I remember that.
And Hosmer at first, and
other
Royals were yelling at him.
Yeah. Got a little heated.
And Hosmer was, I remember saying, "Get back in the box."
That's right. Yeah, then when he got over to first base, they had some words.
Mondesi runs along the edge of the outfield grass and makes the play on Healy to end the inning. Mitch Haniger's home run gives Seattle a 2-0 lead. Are 103.3 and 1240 AM are bringing Lincoln's best fans to Kauffman Stadium on the raised Royal Fan Express on July 7th. For more information, go to royals.com/fan express. That is also Husker night.
Sweet.
And if you're thinking about making that trip, coming out and watching Alex and the Royals on the 7th, it'll be the Royals and the Red Sox. Alex is not in the starting lineup tonight against lefty Marco Gonzalez with the return of Jorge Bonifacio. He grounded out to third in his first at bat. This is not spring training, so to speak, for Bonifacio. He got a spring training in with the Royals, then he stayed in Arizona at extended spring training. And then leading up to tonight, he played in 13 games at AAA Omaha and played well there. So he's not just eligible to come back tonight. The Royals felt like he was ready to come back tonight.
Yeah, and he'll get his rhythm. It won't take him long. Kind of like Lucas did. Lucas came right in, you know, hit that big home run off Garrett Cole, and he's, you know, been productive. Bonifacio, he looks really trimmed up and lean.
Two balls, two strikes. Just two plate appearances, but appears to have pretty good feel for the strike zone.
Yep.
Laying off some borderline pitches.
You know, the breaking balls aren't quite as sharp and as crisp in AAA, but it's still getting some timing off a live arm.
Backdoor breaking ball. And Marco Gonzalez has struck out 5 in 4 1/3 innings.
Exactly what that was, and it looked like he was off the dish. Jim Reynolds rung him up. 20th year for Jim Reynolds already. They talk about the players. Man, Jim Reynolds, it seemed like just not long ago he was breaking in, but he started in 1999.
Yeah, I noticed 3 guys on this crew started in 1999, and that's not a coincidence. That was the year when the brilliant umpire union leader Richie Phillips advised umpires to go on strike right in the middle of the season. And Major League Baseball said, okay, and replaced those guys with minor league umpires. So there are a lot of umpires in the game now who started in 1999. So that was a labor maneuver that backfired, and some really good veteran umpires never got their job back. A few of them have.
Yep.
But many did not.
I remember that. And then that's kind of when Major League Baseball said, okay, now if you guys want to be here, this is how we're going to do it. We're not going to have American League umpires or National League umpires anymore. We're going to make umpires do all of baseball. They're going to be big league umpires, period. And for years before that, there was National League umpires only and American League umpires. And there was a difference, believe me. They had attitudes back then, and when a player would change leagues, you know, they would say, the National League umpires would say, welcome to the big leagues. You've been over in the American League for a long time. So they had attitudes. They thought the National League umpires thought they were better than the American League umpires, in my opinion.
One ball, 2 strikes. Mike DeMuro, the umpire at second base, was another one of the umpires. Now, you might have been on the field with his father, or maybe that was before your time. Lou DeMuro was an American League umpire for 20 years. So Mike is a second-generation big league umpire. And then the third base umpire tonight, Mark Wegner, who is the crew chief, also started in 1999.
Big part of the game, these guys.
Long battle. Gonzalez, after some foul balls, gets Lucas Duda. Now Gonzalez has struck out 6.
Fans, join fellow country music fans at the Royals' first ever country music night on Friday, July 6th. Purchase a themed ticket to receive an exclusive Royals cowboy hat and enjoy country music played at the K as the Royals host the Red Sox. Don't miss the summer fireworks show after the game featuring all country music hits. Yeehaw.
Off the end of the bat, Dozier leads Healy to the bag, and the Royals are down 1-2-3 in the top of the 5th inning against Marco Gonzalez. 2-0 Seattle.
unforgettable show from the nation's capital, the MLB All-Star Game, July 17th, only on Fox, or stream it live on the Fox Sports app. What Royal will be going? A couple of the Royals were represented during batting practice here today. You know, they're always having fun, HUD. They want to promote each other, and so the players came out for batting practice sporting different shirts. Nice adjustment there by Bonifacio as he's smiling. And look at it. Some of them were wearing Vote Moose shirts. There you see Rosie Herrera. Others were wearing Vote Salvi shirts.
That's great.
So they had about 50-50. I talked to Salvi about it. There you see Moose was wearing the Salvi shirt, and Salvi said, yeah, you got to vote Moose, but hey, fans, don't forget about me either. You know who was the most politically correct of the bunch? Lucas Duda put both shirts on. I guess he had to decide which one was on top. I said, who are you going for? And he said, I've got them both. He pulled the other one up. So he didn't want to get in the middle of it. Just support them both.
Yeah. And you know what? When he showed me that, I like, oh, cool. Can I take a picture of you? And he goes, no, not if you're going to put it on your Twitter account or whatever. He goes, like, well, how come? Man, we're just promoting the guys. He's a little embarrassed. He's like, well, let me get going a little better.
If you haven't had the chance to get to know Lucas, and you have, he's about the most understated player that you could ever meet. Just happy, as nice as they come,
humble,
and let's talk about everyone else.
Exactly. You know, he's beautiful.
Gentle giant. How about that?
Yeah, no, you know what? He's really hungry to produce for this ball club in the worst way. Missing that time with his plantar fasciitis.
Didn't he have a big game on the first homestand, and Joel wanted to have him on, and he didn't want to, and we're thinking, wow, why did he say no? He's such a nice guy. He didn't realize what a big deal it is in Kansas City, but his reasoning was, there's a lot of guys who contributed tonight. Tonight was not all about me. And we all just kind of went, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. It's hard to argue with that.
Nah, he's fun to talk to, though. Got to meet his parents. They were on the West Coast. He's from Riverside.
2-2 on Zunino. He struck out looking in the third inning. Ian Kennedy set down the first 10 Mariners tonight, and then Gene Segura broke that up with an infield single, and then Mitch Haniger hit a 2-run home run to center field. It was way in on Zunino. Might be one of the reasons why he's hitting 190 swinging at pitches like that.
Yeah, you know, and at certain times of the year, sometimes you're just going, I'm not going to hit for an average. I'm going to just see if I can get a mistake and hit it out. Kind of similar what Salvi's doing. I mean, Salvi, he's a 272 career hitter. And he came in today hitting 215. Seems like to me Salvi's trying to muscle up, just like Zunino. When you do that, you forget right field, your average goes down.
That is headed for the second deck. And it almost cleared the second deck. 2 rows from the top. And Mike Zunino picked out a better pitch and hits his 12th home run of the year. And Daddy got a souvenir, but she doesn't like all the noise.
Wow. He got every bit of this fastball. 93. Middle in. And it was a no doubt.
And I'll bet, talking about trying to hit home runs, he was not trying to hit a home run with that swing. She doesn't care about the ball. It's too loud out here.
It can be scary for a lot of young kids, or even more mature kids. That ball almost went out of the ballpark, and he sat there and he got the bounce. At least she's not trying to throw the ball back on the field.
Right. It'd be a long throw.
Yeah, I mean that nearly went out of the entire stadium.
Hit to right field, and Herrera takes care of Heredia. 2 down. By the way, the first home run hit into the second deck in this ballpark was off the bat of a Royal. Mark Quinn, right-hand hitting outfielder with the Royals. 99, 2000, 2001. Was the first batter in this ballpark to reach the second deck.
Huh.
2 down to D. Gordon. He is 0 for 2.
Okay, let's show you. We'll show you the numbers. StatCast, 116 exit velo, 454 feet. Soft step. Head position was there. Caught it just right. Back underside, get a little backspin. That ball's not walking. And that little girl was reading that baseball. It said official Major League Baseball, and the commissioner of baseball, Robert D. Manfred Jr. is in a signature. Remember his first year, he was in our booth. And Commissioner Manfred said, we asked him, you know, what's the coolest part about being a commissioner? And he said, signing my name and seeing my name on a big league ball. That's the coolest thing.
He answered that immediately. For sure, it's having my name on the baseball.
Yep.
2 home runs for the Mariners is worth 3 runs tonight. Baseball on Fox Sports Kansas City is brought to you by Dodge. Join the Brotherhood of Muscle at the Dodge 4th of July sales event and get a great deal. And by Pizza Ranch. Hungry for legendary pizza and chicken? It's Pizza Ranch for the win. That little girl is 454 feet from home plate. She has a souvenir. The crowd has calmed down, so she's happy again. Knocked that off the bat of Mariners catcher Mike Zunino. So 3-0 Seattle. Alcides Escobar didn't mean to go all the way around, but down to the count. No balls and 1 strike. He is leading off our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Eric Simmons from Kansas City, Missouri. And a home run out of the park in this inning is worth $3,300. A grand slam out of the park, and Eric wins 25 grand from Sonic and the Royals.
You know, I just ran next door during the commercial to ask Dan Wilson, who's their color commentator, has anybody hit one out of this ballpark? And he said no. No one has hit it completely out. And I said, well, man, that was pretty close. I said, do you think someone will do it? He goes, someone will, but you got to hit it down the line. The line probably is the best. He thinks Nelson Cruz could do it.
Escobar struck out swinging his first time up. Gonzalez has an excellent changeup tonight. That is his 7th strikeout.
Yeah, he's got him reaching. There's no, but if you're thinking right field, you know, you're going to have a better chance of laying off of that ball because, you know, it's a little bit late. They're just trying to pull him tonight.
On to see flied out to left field in the 3rd inning. High in the air to center field. Heredia waits. 2 down. Well, our good buddy Steve Physiak has written a novel, The Walls of Luka. And he's going to be hosting a book signing on Saturday, July 7th from 4:30 to 5:30 in the Royals Hall of Fame. Proceeds will go to Royals charities to benefit Safe Home, which helps survivors of domestic violence. Books will be available for purchase at the signing. He's been working on, or had been working on, that novel for about 12 years, I believe. And so far the reviews have been great. Dave Holtzman, our associate producer, is in the middle of reading it, and is I don't know if I'd call him a master, but certainly one who appreciates fine literature, and he loves it. He says it's a really good novel.
I got a chapter into it, and because there's no pictures in the book, I've had a hard time finishing it. but I promised him I'd get to it. But anyway, how about Whitley? That's nice. That's in the lower part of the zone, little breaking ball. He tried to get in there. He stayed right on it. That's a ball you can pull. It's elevated. Just down over the plate.
And that is his team leading 25th multi-hit game. He has 2 of the Royals' 4 hits so far against Marco Gonzalez.
No, you know, I'm really proud of Steve Physiak, my partner Fizz. He's worked hard, and you know, sitting on the airplane for the last 7 years next to him, and his head buried in his computer, and he's been, you know, working hard for this book, and to see how well it's turned out, I'm really happy for him.
And I hear there's already a sequel that's been written.
Yeah, I mean, he's still working. He likes it. You see how red he look? Look, he's turning red. He's redder than I am.
Apparently, he's not doing this inning.
Both of them been out in the sun yesterday.
Steve Stewart trying to concentrate on the game.
Those are our partners.
So I hope to see you there on July the 7th from 4:30 to 5:30, the book signing out at the Royals Hall of Fame. Snap throw, and Gonzalez has a good one. He was the Cardinals' first-round pick out of the Pacific Northwest. He went to Gonzaga and then was traded here last year for an outfielder, Tyler O'Neill, who we saw when the Royals were in St. Louis. Segura short hops and falls backward and throws a strike over to second base to get the force on Merrifield. And Witt isn't going anywhere. You might think he's safe, but Ned Yost, after checking in with Bill Duplessis, is convinced that Gordon stayed on the bag.
20% discount. Group tickets are available for all home games, and groups of 20 or more can save big. Suites and party areas are also available on a nightly basis. So plan your company event or get together with friends or co-workers today. Email group sales at royals.com to start planning your next big gig.
Jason Adam has a Chevy call to the bullpen. So Ian Kennedy goes 74 pitches and comes out after 5, giving up 3 runs on only 3 hits. So stay tuned for more on that. Gene Segura leads off and takes a fastball for a strike. Kennedy set down the first 10 Mariners tonight, and then Segura reached with an infield single, and he scored on Mitch Haniger's 2-run home run. Big curve is cut on and missed. No balls and 2 strikes.
Jason, good hard fastball. Mid to upper.
2 pitches lined to right, and Herrera makes the play. 1 down in the 6th inning.
Curve change. Good to see him back here.
This is Jason's first appearance since being called back up from AAA when Justin Grimm went on the disabled list. He appeared in 14 games with the Royals before being sent out on June the 15th. So a nice taste of the big leagues. Fouled back and out of play by Mitch Haniger. Haniger hit the first of the 2 Seattle home runs. That was a 2-run shot in the 4th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. And while Jason was away, his wife Kelsey gave birth to their first child.
Yeah.
Little baby girl Kinsley. So congratulations to Jason and Kelsey. And this is Jason's first big league game as a father.
Oh man, congratulations. We knew that Kelsey'd been expecting, but so happy that he had a little break and got to be there and everything. Now he's back in the big leagues. He's a big league daddy. Congratulations. You know, and if I don't know how it'll go for the Adams, but my first child was a little girl. We had nothing but guys in the family, nothing but boys. And babies always brought me fortune when I was playing. At least my first 2 that I had, and then my career was over. But Alyssa brought me to a new team. I was with the Giants. They just released me. And having a baby girl, it changed my whole perspective. I was like, wow, I'm a dad now. I better not miss this next pitch. I better focus on what I'm doing here. This little girl's she's gonna want to have a nice life. I got to do something for her while I can. My time's running out. So it really helped me focus.
He's got his breaking ball going tonight. That's ball 4. He didn't get a swing there, but he got a check swing from Haniger. And if we learned anything about Jason Adam from his first stint with the Royals, he's got plenty of fastball, and if he's throwing his fastball and his breaking ball for a strike, he's going to be a handful.
Yeah, and then you know what? If it's missing like it did the last few pitches, that's okay. I'm sure he learned through his first stint. And Cal Eldred was telling him, look, if you think it's not working and it's not on, you still got to throw it. You got to find it, because you need that, because these hitters up here don't miss that 96 down the middle. You got to be able to hit your spots and locate, but don't give up on it. Because we saw him in a couple of outings he had where he bounced a few breaking balls like that, and he went away from it and just threw nothing but heaters, and they catch up to that. Hitters will know that you don't have any confidence in your breaking ball, And so they sit on the heater, dead red.
There's a breaking ball. Ball 1 to Nelson Cruz. He is 0 for 2.
Because, you know, Jason Adams, he's still young, 26 years old, 6'4", 225. He's a big guy, man. And he'll rush it up there all the way up to 98. Ooh, man.
Right off of home plate umpire Jim Reynolds' shoulder.
Oof, yeah. Ooh, man, that's tough. I'm sure that he'll tell you he'd rather hit him in the shoulder than the mask, because that could cause some damage. And they sit up in there, umpires do, inside on the hitters to stay away from the barrel, minimizing their chances of getting smoked by staying on the inside of the hitters' hands right there.
Watch that left hand. Left arm. Yeah, some guys will follow the catcher wherever he goes and use him as a shield, and then some guys just, they won't move. They've got their setup, and that's where they're going to be positioned no matter where the catcher goes. I personally would hide behind the catcher.
I think I would find a different occupation. Personally. Tough business.
Gonna cover up that left arm, doesn't he?
You'd think.
Mariners fans are upset, but really it's Royals fans who should be upset. Pitchers can get hurt.
Right. So maybe, you know, you just go ahead and finish. And I've never been a fan of an umpire giving a hitter time when the pitcher's already started his windup, because if it could hurt him. But then what a lot of veteran pitchers will do is they'll just continue. They'll throw the ball to the backstop. You know, and that's not a bad pitch, because now the hitter's going, whoa, hey, whoa, what the heck was that? Messes him up a little bit. So you never know. Maybe Cal Eldred will teach him a few of those tricks. Cal's done everything as a pitcher.
Still 2-2. Well, having never come close to playing in the big leagues, you can take this with a grain of salt. But as you know, I've always been an advocate of a pitcher every now and then, if there's not a runner on and you're young and nobody knows anything about you, to just throw one up the screen.
Exactly.
And then look at your hand like, what was that? You know?
Yeah.
You know, squint at the catcher like, you know, you can't really see where it's going.
And
you know, just look really confused like, how did that happen?
You know, you're right. And Jason, he's the perfect candidate for that. A guy who can throw 98.
Play a mind game with the hitter.
No question. That's what it is anyway. It's a mind game. See if his hammer, drop a little breaking ball on there. Beating with a fastball.
Lucas Duda is there for the second out.
It's a whole new ball game with RBI Baseball 18. RBI Baseball 18 delivers an all-new franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball 18 is available now. Learn more at rbigame.com. Rated E for everyone. Yeah. Boy, she's sweet as can be, huh? Daddy got that ball for her. Woo, that's a long ways away from home plate.
Measured at 454 feet. StatCast is responsible for measuring the distance of the home run, and it is where the ball would have eventually landed at ground level had it not been interrupted by the stands. Mike Zunino hit one up there with one out in the fifth inning. Mitch Haniger also has a home run for Seattle tonight. Kyle Seager is flied to left and he is walked. One and one on Seager. Good breaking ball, but ruled inside by Jim Reynolds. 2-1 on Seager.
That's a good spot for it.
Remember last year we were here in July. The Royals swept the Mariners and we saw Kyle Seager. Then we went to Dodger Stadium and the Royals were swept by the Dodgers. And we got to see Corey Seager, Kyle's younger brother. I was reminded by Dave Holtzman that when the Royals were here, and it was right before the break, they went to Seattle and then LA for an interleague series. When the Royals swept the Mariners, the Royals were a half game out in the Central Division.
Yeah.
And we thought, here we go again. You know, that core group of Royals just had a knack for getting hot and staying hot. But they ran into the Dodgers at the wrong time.
It was 100 degrees plus. I heard it's hot back home now.
Very hot. Good fastball. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Good location. Remember we talked about Seager having a hard time with high fastballs. There you go. Right by him.
Haniger runs. And Seager is upset with himself as he takes ball 4.
Tried to hit that spot again, just missed.
Well, maybe that hurt. Remember, he's got, he's in no hurry to take that glove off of his hand. Remember, that's the hand where he took that shot from Mike Moustakas, and he's still looking at it. I mentioned last year after sweeping the Mariners here and then moving on to LA, and that was the wrong time to face the Dodgers.
All right.
The Dodgers were in a stretch where they were 23-4.
I remember. Definitely wrong time.
2 on for Ryan Healy. He is lined to second and popped to second. Out into shallow right field. Herrera comes up and ended up having to make a diving catch. That ball just kept dying on him. So Jason Adam gets around a couple of walks. And at the end of 6, it is 3-0 Seattle. Mitch Haniger with a man on and 1 out in the 4th inning, his career high 17th. And then with 1 out in the 5th, Mike Zunino hit a long home run to left field up into the bleachers. That was his 12th. That little girl ended up with a souvenir, and Seattle is out to a 3-0 lead in the 7th inning. And they've really been lifted tonight by Marco Gonzalez, who has pitched 6 scoreless innings and struck out 7. Here's his Pizza Ranch for the win line. 4 hits, no walks, and 7 strikeouts. And Seattle coming off a grueling stretch of games. They were on the other side of the country. They had a 10-game East Coast trip, which concluded yesterday in Baltimore. And they started out that trip 1-5 and then swept the Orioles in a 4-game series. So then they had to fly all the way across the country. Meanwhile, the Royals had an off day yesterday. Seattle is 20 games above 500, 3 games back of Houston. And so you'd expect them to be a little weary tonight. So far they haven't, but a lot of times it's the day after. It's not the very next day when that fatigue sets in. Sometimes it's 2 days after.
Yep, I agree. And baseball is the toughest game to call. Sometimes the best team doesn't always win. And think about Seattle, their travel. Man, they're all the way up here in the Pacific Northwest. They got to fly a long way to go anywhere. They got to have at least a 2-hour minimum. Look at that, bad luck again.
Segura playing up the middle and takes care of Moustakas. He's 1 for 3. Think about all the teams that the Royals have that are within 2 hours away.
Oh,
right?
The whole league almost.
Minnesota, Chicago, Texas, Detroit, Cleveland.
Oh man,
Denver.
It's a cakewalk.
Milwaukee,
Midwest.
Seattle, their closest team is 2 hours away, and that's in their division, going south to Oakland.
Yep. Yeah, tough travel here, up here.
Salvi swings and fouls it back. Salvi struck out and then grounded into a double play at end of the 4th inning. And that's the biggest out or outs for Gonzalez so far. Change up away. On Wednesday in Milwaukee, we got to experience the roof opening in the middle of the game, and now here tonight at Safeco Field, maybe there's some rain in the area, so they're in the process of closing the roof.
Yeah, it's like a big umbrella. And it's not completely closed, so it's kind of open air roof. One of those.
And this is Kansas Cityans might remember back in 06 or 07 when the vote was out for remodeling Kauffman Stadium and Arrowhead Stadium. The rolling roof, which was part of the original design of the Truman Sports Complex that would sit in the middle of Kauffman Stadium and Arrowhead Stadium and could roll back and forth. Fouled away by Salvi. It would have sealed Arrowhead Stadium, so it would be climate controlled. You could have a Super Bowl, you know, even though it might be really cold in Kansas City. And then here, I say here, but on the baseball side at Kauffman Stadium, it was just going to be a roof that would keep the rain and maybe the snow off the field, maybe the sun on a hot July or August day. Salvi drives it to right field. Haniger is back to the warning track to make the play. That's what Salvi was hoping for back in the 4th inning with runners at 1st and 3rd.
Yep. Finally went the other way, and you could see he was off balance, but he's able to barrel it and hit it 315 feet. Yeah, but it just didn't get voted in the roof then.
Well,
is that what happened?
Way back when, the stadiums were designed and positioned where they are now because of that roof, but there was a construction strike which wiped out a whole year of any work at the Truman Sports Complex. And so the Royals were supposed to move in to then Royals Stadium, now Kauffman Stadium, in '72. But because of the strike, some items were brushed aside and they just kind of rushed to get the stadium ready. And so no roof, and it just narrowly missed with that vote to renovate Kauffman Stadium and Arrowhead Stadium. Urban legend says that the tracks are underneath the concrete in Lot M in between Arrowhead and Kauffman Stadium, that there are actual tracks under there, but I don't know if that's entirely true. Segura backhands, and Bonifacio running hard up the line. He is out. And Marco Gonzalez with a 3-0 lead just keeps rolling along. He has a 1-2-3 7th inning. Ned Yost wants to make sure that Bonifacio was out. Neither Jorge nor Mitch Meyer argued the call, and Bill Duplessis agrees. Daylight is fading away in Seattle. Our Pepsi fans of the game, Shane and Kelly Montgomery. First of all, happy birthday to Kelly, celebrating it here with us in Seattle. Shane Montgomery is the Royals manager of groundskeeping.
All right.
So he can just sit back. He doesn't have to worry about the dirt or the grass or the mound or home plate. And maybe he's watching the Safeco Field roof cover the field and thinking, man, how life would be a little bit easier if we had one of these.
Great to see the Montgomerys here. Kelly, happy birthday, hon. Get us a few runs.
Brandon Mowers, a Chevy call to the bullpen. Brandon came up through the Mariners organization. He replaces Jason Adam, who had a scoreless 6th inning. Ian Kennedy went 5 and gave up 3 runs and came out after just 74 pitches. Denard Span is out. He is 0 for 3.
Nebraska fans, here's your chance to show your Royals and Huskers pride. Purchase your themed ticket at royals.com/Huskers for an exclusive Royals cap featuring the Huskers logo and colors. Cheer on both your favorite teams on Saturday, July 7th as we celebrate Huskers Night, presented by Fox Sports Kansas City and Rally House. Want to see you there.
Want to know on Mike Zunino, who homered to the top of the bleachers in left field in the 5th inning. Good changeup from Mauer. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ian Kennedy had struck out Zunino in his first at bat. 2 balls and 1 strike. Brandon Maurer back in 2008 was the Mariners' 23rd round pick out of high school in Orange, California. And he moved quickly through the Mariners system for a guy taken in the 23rd round.
He's got really good stuff. He's just had a hard time commanding it. 6'6", 230. He's got a perfect build, and he's mid to upper 90s fastball, slider, changeup. Has the pitches. He's working on command. Is sometimes one of the last things that happen. Beauty. Yeah. Maurer dropped a little hammer on him. You got a mid-90s, upper 90s fastball, and you drop that, Zunino, you got to go. Beauty.
Brandon Maurer, this is hard to imagine because you mentioned how big he is now. He was 170 pounds when Seattle drafted him 10 years ago. 170.
Wow. Hard to picture that.
We mentioned this in Houston. He and Garrett Cole were on the same high school team in Orange, California. Orange Lutheran, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
Oh, yeah, Olu. It's a powerhouse.
Olu?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that what they called it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Private school. It's kind of like a Rockhurst would be in Kansas City.
Okay. Came up to the Mariners system as a starter. And he'll admit he could not handle the nerves of being a starter. He was very intense on the mound. And being that it's past 11 o'clock back home, I can tell you that Brandon said he used to vomit before every start. Thinking about it all week, thinking about it all day, and the anxiety would just build. And then, you know, he had to learn breathing exercises in between innings just to stay calm. And so eventually they thought it might be a good idea for him to move to the bullpen.
So if it was dinner time, you probably wouldn't have used that word.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm figuring a lot of our young fans have since gone to sleep.
Okay. That's you know, being pretty nervous.
And 1 on D. Gordon.
You know,
and I remember asking him last year, can I use that on the air? He said, yeah. It was true.
I've been watching some of that World Cup, and think about that. Those guys play once once a week or so, and the whole country's watching them. And they showed a few of those guys before the games with some stuff coming out of their mouths, and they were nervous. We were worked up. Sometimes you're better off on an empty stomach. You perform.
That guy, Marco Gonzalez, doesn't look like he has even broken a sweat tonight, or his pulse has changed since when he arrived at Safeco Field tonight.
Yeah, no, he's cruising.
Jason Vargas was like that. You know, Jason Vargas always looked just so calm on the mound, no matter what was going on around him. Three balls and 1 strike on D. Gordon. Jason Adam got around a couple of walks in the 6th inning, and now Maurer is in danger of walking a second hitter. He got the first 2, Span and Zunino, and then Heredia walked, the number 9 hitter. And now it's 3-1 on Gordon. Back-to-back walks with 2 down, and that brings up the shortstop Gene Segura, who is the subject of our sprint trivia question. He is trying to join this list if he can hit 300 this year, finish at 300. He's well above 300 right now. 5 shortstops since 2000 hit 300 or better in 3 consecutive seasons. The list that I've come up with: Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter, Troy Tulowitzki, Elvis Andrus, Jimmy Rollins. How about Edgar Renteria?
It's possible.
Is he a 300 type hitter?
Yep, I think Rollins.
Who do you like from that list?
I like
Ron?
Rollins. I think Jeter probably did that, and A-Rod probably in his early days here, playing here and in Texas.
How about, so we agree on Rollins?
I think so.
Jimmy Rollins, strike 1. A-Rod?
That's right.
Alex Rodriguez, that's 1.
Ding, 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 ding. 4 more to go.
Down and away, ball 1. I tell you, it turned out to be a pretty good hitter. And he started his career here. But he made a name for himself in Cleveland. Omar Vizquel went from a guy that you could knock the bat out of his hands to a pretty good hitting shortstop.
Okay.
You know, he got a lot of bunt hits.
I did. I don't know if he did 3 years in a row, though. Who was your other guys there? Jeter? How
Jeter.
about Jeter?
Derek Jeter. Correct.
Ding, 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 ding. That's the only name I wrote down, by the way. You had all the other ones.
That'll be out of play. All right. So we have 2 correct, 3 to go with 2 strikes.
What? Yeah, only 1 strike.
2 strikes to work with, I mean.
Oh.
What about Tulowitzki? You like Tulowitzki?
I do. I like that.
Troy Tulowitzki. Strike 2. So I've got as a tentative list Vizquel, Renteria, Elvis Andrus. I don't think Elvis Andrus hit.
Another one we
What
don't have
about
on there.
Michael Young?
Shortstop, and they moved him to second. Then he played third.
He had some years at shortstop, didn't he? Chopped to the left side and through. Here's Heredia around third. Bonifacio's throw is offline. So with 2 outs and nobody on, Seattle gets 2 walks. And Segura stays on that pace to hit well above 300 this year. That's his 2nd hit. And the Mariners lead 4-0.
Heard us talking about it. There's a fastball he just got on top of. Bauer down 3-1 in the count. Had to come in there for a strike, and Segura found a hole.
What about Rafael Furcal? Did he hit 300 2 years ago?
Sure could run. That's a good guess.
Ball 1 to Mitch Haniger. He has a 2-run home run tonight. That's the only run that Seattle has scored tonight without a home run. Haniger hit a 2-run shot in the 4th. Zunino hit a solo home run in the 5th, and now with 2 outs and nobody on, the Mariners put 3 on and add a run.
Good spot there for that 94 fastball.
What about Nomar?
He won a batting title 1 year. I like that. Of course, I've liked some of the strikes too. What do you think? He had some really good years.
I'm going to run Nomar up the flagpole.
I think you should.
Nomar Garciaparra. Strike 3.
All right.
We got 2.
Who did we miss? Oh.
Moustakis will make the play in foul territory. Michael Young was one of the answers.
How can I dissuade you? Remember, we started talking about going with our gut, and we didn't.
Mariners add a run in the 7th inning. Skyline from Puget Sound, and we have a doubleheader of sorts for you tomorrow. Fox Sports Kansas City will bring you the Royals and Mariners and Sporting KC's match with Montreal Impact. Coverage of Sporting KC begins at 5:30, then the Royals and the Mariners at 8:30. It's also streaming on Fox Sports Go. There it is, Hud. Alex Rodriguez, Miguel Tejada, Michael Young, Derek Jeter, Hanley Ramirez.
Thanks for playing.
Marco Gonzalez has pitched 7 scoreless innings. He has 7 strikeouts, 2 of which have been against Lucas Duda. No balls, 2 strikes. Duda struck out looking in the 2nd and swinging in the 5th. And hit by a pitch on an 0-2 pitch. And that right there is the first free base that Gonzalez has given away.
He didn't mean to do that, that's for sure. He's been cruising.
That's the 2nd time that the Royals have had their leadoff man on against Gonzalez, who is at just 83 pitches. The Royals have so far only had 1 inning where they had more than 1 runner, and that was erased by a double play. Out at first base, close. Hunter Dozier immediately turned and looked to the Royals dugout. John Tumpane, if that name rings a bell, is the umpire at first base.
That's Moose's buddy.
Just in case you're scoring at home.
That's right. Wow, you know what? Just seems like when they want to get something going, the double plays have really been a detriment to the Royals this year. And that was just barely got him. Good turn by Gordon. Gordon, tell you what, he's been in probably one of the MVP of the team. He won a Gold Glove at second base in 2015. And started the year as a center fielder. I mean, he's just a tremendous athlete. He can play anywhere on the diamond. He's added a lot to their team.
That, by the way, is a career high 7 2/3 innings for Marco Gonzalez. Escobar has struck out swinging twice. You
know, this team, the Mariners, they're a different team than when it was there in April. I mean, all of a sudden, you know, they're 20 games over, they're on a roll, they know they're good. Service has done a nice job for them. Fan base is excited about them, and so they're feeling pretty good about themselves.
Two hops to Seager, and that's the inning. So Marco Gonzalez has thrown a career high 8 innings, and he is not allowed a run. And that was a 7-pitch top of the 8th. Royals baseball on Fox Sports Kansas City is brought to you by Ford. Going further so you can. One of the biggest cities in the United States. HUD is going to circle a building for you. And the reason I asked him to circle that is because back in 1969, when the Seattle Pilots were here, they couldn't make it financially after 1 year. Seattle was too small, so they moved to Milwaukee and became the Brewers. That building that HUD just circled, that was the tallest building in downtown Seattle back in 1969.
Look at it now.
And then baseball did not return here until 1977. And then they almost left again because they weren't just bringing in the revenue. Now, they didn't have very good teams for a long time. But along came Ken Griffey Jr. and Randy Johnson and Alex Rodriguez,
Jay
Buhner, Dan Wilson, a couple of booths down, who's broadcasting for the Mariners now, former catcher. And this is Safeco Field, but some refer to it as the house that Junior built, meaning Ken Griffey Jr. And now this is a major metropolitan area in the United States. But can you imagine that? I mean, not really that long ago in the history of Major League Baseball, Seattle was too small to handle Major League Baseball.
Yeah, that's amazing. Hey, Bert Smith, he's towing the slab now. But Ryan, when was your dad managing here? What
1989, 90, and 91.
Okay. I was in the National League.
Mondesi is out. Herrera is in, and Herrera makes the play on Nelson Cruz. He is 0 for 4. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Club. Ryan Lefevre, Rex Hudler with Joel Goldberg. Director Steve Kurtenbach, producer Kevin Cedergren, associate producers Sam Abramson, Dave Holtzman, and Casey Carter. Seager takes down and away, ball one. He is flied to left, and he is reached by way of a walk twice. One ball, one strike.
Bert Smith's really been picking up his game. 92 to 96. Fastball curve change. Hard thrower, throwing strikes.
One and two on Seager. Birch has now pitched 5 consecutive scoreless innings.
I like him. And you know the difference? He's throwing strikes. He's has confidence. You can tell by he's getting that ball up there because his stuff is amazing. Salvi wants this one up. Can blow it by him. Oh, didn't get it up enough.
It's not a huge deal in 2018, but Kyle Seager is generally credited as the first left-hand batter who made the adjustment to find a way to beat the shift. He was one of the first left-hand batters when everyone started overshifting that changed his approach and was able to respond by hitting the ball to left field with just one fielder over there. So he's on with one out, and Ryan Healy is at the plate. Look out. Breaking ball is called a strike. 1 and 2, or 1 and 1 on Ryan Healy. Ian Kennedy went 5 and gave up 3 runs and came out after 74 pitches. Jason Adam pitched a scoreless 6th. Brandon Maurer pitched the 7th and allowed a run. That's behind third base coach Scott Brocious.
Had a pretty nice major league career.
Yes, he did. Postseason hero with the Yankees. Got him. So who knows? Maybe Healy wasn't so comfortable in the box after that pitch that went under his chin, because he was bailing on that. Was that a hard slider? That was 91 miles an hour.
That's exactly what you do. That's why it's so effective, that pitch. Right, you know, give the guy a little chin music, move his feet once in a while. And gives you the outside part of the plate. Nicely done.
Denard Span is 0 for 3. Shallow right field, and again Herrera with Mondesi makes the play. So Bert Smith has 6 consecutive scoreless innings. Last call for the Royals, down 4-0.
Goldberg down by the field. Coming up after the game, Boulevard Royals Live. We will talk about Marco Gonzalez dealing, reaction from the clubhouse, and much more coming up on Boulevard Royals Live. Ryan?
All right, thank you, Joel. Marco Gonzalez never pitched more than 7 1/3 innings in the big leagues and had really struggled in his previous 2 starts during that long East Coast road trip. His ERA was over 8 in his previous 2 starts, but not tonight. He's pitched a career-high 8 innings, and now Scott Service is going to give him a chance to throw his first major league shutout.
Yeah, he's been on pinpoint. He's hit every spot. Look at that. Look at all the zeros up there. 7 Ks. And you know, the Royals, they've had a few high strikeout games, but folks, the Royals are still the toughest to strike out in the American League. So this young man here, he's hit his spots tonight.
Mondesi drives the first pitch inside the left field foul line, and now ricochets off the side wall. And that's just the second extra base hit for the Royals tonight. Mondesi is 1 for 3.
You could see Mondesi, he was talking to that ball as he left the box. That was a fastball that stayed up. He's saying, come on, let's go, stay fair. And it hugged the line. Yeah, nice stroke.
And now Witt pulls it on the ground to third. So Witt is 2 for 4 tonight. That'll bring up Rosell Herrera. If the Royals hit a triple here in the 9th inning, the Kansas City Honda dealers will make a $1,000 donation to the KC Urban Youth Academy. And Herrera has a couple of triples to chip in $1,000.
Do it again.
He is 1 for 2 with a double and a sac bunt tonight. Tomorrow night, the Royals will say goodbye to June, and they needed to win tonight and tomorrow to match the worst June in Royals history. The 1970 team went 7-19. Royals right now in June are 5-19. Segura backhands, plants, and throws out Herrera.
Wow. Flawless defense. Segura looks good. Look at that, all in one motion. Just plant, throw, strike.
Gonzalez is 1 out away from his first major league shutout. He is 1 out away from his first professional shutout. And maybe the strike zone will be a little bigger. Moustakas is 1 for 3 with an infield single. Ball, 1 strike.
This kid has really kept the Royals off balance. He's hit every spot. He's mixed his pitches with his cutter, his big curveball, his changeup, his 4-seamer. He's had it all working. And his fans are happy about this first 3.
You know who he reminds me of tonight? A pitcher who for a while was unhittable against the Royals, Tommy Malone, when he was with the Oakland A's.
How about it?
One strike away.
Certainly has a poker face. Has had excellent tempo.
25,558 are inside Safeco Field with the roof closed. Grounded into center field. So Mondesi will score. Gonzalez does not get the shutout. This has been the week of one strike away, hasn't it?
That's right. Good for Moose to rock his world. That was nice. Good clean single. Couple hits now for Moose. Good swing there. Pat got his 13th infield hit, his first or his second time up tonight. And now he's added that line shot. Still hitting the ball hard. Good swing.
He still hasn't thrown 100 pitches yet. And he'll try to get Salvador Perez 2 in the game. Salvi hits a ground ball to Segura, and that'll do it. So Gonzalez will have to settle for his first major league complete game. He was 1 strike away from his first major league shutout. And the Seattle Mariners improved to 21 games above 500. That ties their high water mark of 2018. And they begin a long homestand, 10 days, 9 games, with a victory over the Royals. There's Ichiro Suzuki on the mound out there to congratulate the Mariners. Final score 4-1 Seattle. We'll be right back.